Hi, I'm Granny, and I'm going down the rabbit hole of the moon. So, what do you think about when you look up at the moon? Have you ever noticed that you can see it during the day? We should be able to, when the weather conditions are good, be able to see the moon up to 12 hours a day. And that could also include where you are located on the earth. Often my dad would tell us to keep track of the moon so that the next time it was a full moon, we would be able to go camping. Some jokingly describe the moon as being made of Swiss cheese. Others see a man in the moon, a woman in the moon, a rabbit in the moon, and even a toad in the moon. Scientists estimate the age of our moon is that of the Earth, which is about 4.5 billion years old. And the moon orbits above the Earth at 238,900 miles. Since the 1700s, many parts of the moon have been named by those who observed the moon and attributed earthly characteristics to the moon, such as naming the dark spots of the moon seas. In my episode on the auroras, it was the atmosphere of the Earth that interacted with the particles from the sun that created those wonderful colors of the auroras. Well, the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, so there are no auroras on the moon. There are also no shooting stars because a shooting star needs to interact with an atmosphere to create those colors streaking through the sky. So, no atmosphere, which means there are no shooting stars on the moon. Not having an atmosphere contributes to all the pock marks on the moon. If you were able to scrape all the foliage off the Earth, you would be able to see some large pocks resulting from the meteorites hitting the Earth, but not as many as the moon, because our atmosphere protects us. And if you were to travel in northern Arizona, you would be able to see a huge crater left from a meteorite. Meteors or shooting stars burn up in our atmosphere. Meteorites hit the ground. Scientists have studied areas where they believe large asteroids hit the Earth, causing mass extinctions. There are many theories, and some include what killed off the dinosaurs, but those are just theories at this point. The moon is considered the Earth's satellite. It is about 1/4 the diameter of the Earth with a circumference of 6,786 miles. Compare that with the circumference of the Earth, which is closer to 25,000 miles. Our moon is considered the largest in the solar system when compared to the host planet, Earth being our moon's host planet. Some scientists refer to the Earth and its moon as a double planet. The core of the moon is believed to be composed of iron, magnesium, silicon, and some nickel. The core is relatively small, about 20% of its diameter. Earth's core is closer to 50. The moon is the largest satellite/moon in our solar system, larger than any of the dwarf planets. And the dwarf planets in our solar system are Ceres, Pluto, which used to be considered a planet, no more, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. According to NASA, there are more than 200 moons in our solar system, but not all are orbiting planets. All other planets in our solar system wobble quite a bit in their orbits, which causes their climates to be much more unpredictable. Our moon isn't round, it is more egg-shaped. It is believed to be one of the densest moons in our solar system, which is really important to note. Density equates to mass. The moon's surface gravity is about 1/6 of the Earth's, and the moon is slowly drifting away from the Earth by 2 to 3 inches a year. George Darwin, son of Charles Darwin, was born in 1845 and died in 1912. He was a barrister and an astronomer, receiving accolades in both of those fields. He was rather significant and incredibly intelligent, none unlike his father. He was considered a leading authority on tides. He studied tidal forces involving the sun, moon, and earth. He also developed the fission theory of the moon's formation. He was first to recognize, by all of his studying, that the moon was moving away from the earth, and it took another 95 years to confirm that. The moon doesn't rotate on its axis like the earth. It is much slower, which is why the same side is always facing the earth. It takes the moon 27.3 days to rotate once on its axis. The sun shining on the moon's surface makes it appear much lighter in color than it is. It is more like the color of asphalt, like our roads. As the moon orbits the earth, it causes tides to rise and fall. The moon also causes the solid surface of the earth to rise and fall by several centimeters with each tide. Now, if you were to go outside and drag your little magnet in the dirt and then gently lift it, just maybe an inch or two, it'll create a conical shape of those attached to the magnet. Well, that is similar to what is going on every time there's a tide, recognizing the influence of the moon and its gravity going back to its mass. In the 60s and 70s, NASA sent 9 Apollo missions to the moon. 6 of those missions included landing on the moon. July 20th, 1969 was the first time in human history that humans saw the back of the moon. Astronauts spent more than 80 hours on the lunar surface studying it. They brought back 842 pounds of moon rocks, 2,200 separate samples from 6 different locations on the moon. Most moon rocks are made up of silicon, calcium, aluminum, oxygen, magnesium, titanium, basalt, and iron, which are all very similar to the Earth's composition. Some scientists believe the large amount of iron in the moon's core contributes, because of the mass, to the gravitational pull on the Earth's surface and tides. According to scientists, there are many theories of how the moon was created. As mentioned, the moon's age is estimated at 4.5 billion years, very similar to the Earth's, and it was created about 50 million years after the birth of our solar system. So the 3 most popular theories on how the moon was formed. Number 1, the giant impact theory, proposes the moon was created out of debris from a giant impact between the Earth and another celestial body similar to the size of Mars, ultimately orbiting around the Earth. Now, in earlier episodes when we were talking about the water on the surface of the Earth and how some scientists believe it was an impact that caused those oceans of water to start moving around the Earth, which was necessary in creating life in our oceans. So that was one theory. Accretion theory suggests the Earth and moon were created at the same time. And the fission theory was proposed by George Darwin, is that the Earth was spinning so fast that bits broke off, ultimately becoming the moon. So at the time when that supposedly happened, scientists estimate that the Earth was moving so quickly that one day equaled about 6 hours, which means it was rotating really fast on its axis, as was the moon. So, yeah, that kind of makes it feasible. Early in the formation of the Earth and Moon, both were covered in an ocean of magma, meaning that when the Moon was rotating around the Earth, it was glowing, which some scientists believe that there would never be a night and day because the glow from the Moon covered with magma would be so bright at night that it would be like a mini sun orbiting around the Earth. There is evidence, geologically speaking, that the Earth had liquid tides of magma as it rotated around the sun. So have you ever heard of the term or word lunacy or lunatic or moon madness? How about men howling at the moon as they transitioned into a werewolf? And have you ever heard of a woman werewolf? Join me next time as Granny goes down the rabbit hole of the moon in episode 2. Thank you for taking your time to visit with me during these going down the rabbit hole. I release videos every Thursday. Thank you very much for your time.